So hey guys, and welcome back to another Access 72 video, and in today's video I'm back with another interview. I'm here with Mertys Rowen. Mertys, how are we?
Hello, man. Hi. Good to speak with you.
Yes, it is a pleasure to have you on the channel, mate. And so, am I right in saying you're a 32-year-old lightweight who's 1-0?
That is correct.
Yeah.
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 Good description. Yeah, good
Okay,
summary.
great. Okay, and so if you're new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you do need like the video, and let's get straight into it. So, I'm going to start off with the question which you always like to start off with, and that is, why did you start boxing?
I started boxing. So I grew up in North London, and there was a gym which was sort of down the hill, like around the area. Islington was the boxing club,
Okay.
and we went there the first time when I was 13, 14, and we just loved, because we just always liked boxing. It's fun, and when we was outside, we had like an altercation with some older kids, and sort of got like a bit violent because one of them pulled a knife from one of my friends and everything like that. And then like my mum was all funny about it and was like, I don't want to go back there and all that. So I sort of like left boxing for like fucked it off for a while.
Yeah.
And then when I was going to college later on, the gym was down the hill again. So I thought, I'll just give it a try. Just when to sort of keep myself out of trouble, and I really fell in love with it.
Okay, that's good, and it's a similar story to a lot of people kind of wanting to keep out of trouble by going into boxing.
Yeah, absolutely. There's a lot of good things for you.
Definitely. And so, do you remember what happened in your first amateur fight?
My first amateur fight was in Liverpool. It was for a club which was called Crew ABC, which I don't think exists anymore, sadly. Went up there. It was just what it was. I did my best. I come up short in the decision. It was very close. It was just one of those kind of inconsequential amateur fights, to be honest with you. Do you know what I mean? But it was exciting. I liked it. I thrived in it. I enjoyed being out there in front of the people. And it's good fun.
Okay, that's fair. And so, what would you say was your biggest achievement from the amateurs?
Man, I never really accomplished anything in the amateurs. I had 12 amateur fights.
Okay.
Ended up losing more than I won. And my problem was that I learned everything in the pro gyms from the start off. So when I went, certain people, I think that transition was a lot easier for them. With myself, I kind of instantly took on a more professional style, and it didn't quite translate so well. One thing I did do though was I fought at quite a high level. Like in those 12 amateur fights, I fought England internationals. I fought in open class ABAs. I guess I would have won. I think a Western Counties. I won in the novices, so I guess that's something there, like a regional or something like that. So amateurs was amateurs. I learned more really in the gyms to sort of learn my trades that way.
Okay, that's fair. And so, why did you end up turning professional when you did?
Why did I when I did? So initially, I actually put in the application to turn professional when I was about 28, 29.
Okay.
And then we had COVID, and that just put a spanner in the works of everything. So there was a lot of waiting about. To be honest with you, I went with it because I knew that was the time. I could see I wasn't going anywhere amateur-wise, and I'd sort of internally battled over the business element of the professional game.
Yeah.
And I think that was why I wasn't really ever confident in my ability to be able to sell tickets, or that I would just end up getting sidelined, or have to fight on the road and that sort of thing. So that was kind of what stopped me from going for it from a much earlier age.
Okay.
But in the end, I just kind of decided that, irrespective, it was the right thing for me to do. So yeah.
Definitely. And I mean, so far, of course, you've had your one fight and your one win. And so, how well do you think you performed in your debut?
How did I perform? It was comfortable, to be honest with you. It was more about the whole experience of going through with the tickets, with the weight. It's different to amateurs. It's just definitely. In a funny way, I would almost say that boxing on unlicensed shows is better preparation for professional boxing than boxing on amateur shows.
Yeah.
Both because there's differences, but also because, again, then it's like you're dealing with that business element of it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I enjoyed it, and I felt I did perform well. I don't feel like it was a bad debut. I won every round, felt comfortable, and the only problem I had was my hand was buckled.
Okay.
About a week before, I sort of cracked getting someone inspiring, so I was a bit cautious about letting it go fully. But yeah, no, I respected it. It was exactly what I was hoping for, so I was happy with it.
Okay, that's great. And so, what would you say? I mean, you're right at the start of your career at the moment, but what would you say is your main motivation at the moment?
I actually don't know, to be honest with you. I haven't got a great answer for that one.
Mm-hmm.
My main motivation with it is just love for the game. You know, my dad was a professional fighter. I think I just sort of fell in love with it, and then at a certain point, it was just kind of sort of seeing how far can I go with this,
Definitely.
and that's what it's about, really. It's just seeing how far I can go about it. It's not really for anybody else. It's not a financial thing, you know. There's better avenues and more lucrative avenues to go into. It's something that I'm doing just for pure love of the game.
That's good to hear. That's good to hear. And I mean, you're moving along nicely with your professional career now. You've got this upcoming fight, 1st of April, and so how's the preparations been going for that?
It's been great. So I'm managed by Andy O'Kane over in Bristol at Paddy John's gym. So I've been getting fantastic sparring, both with Joe Hughes, who's a former European champion, very good fighter, and I've learned lots of him as well. Joe's one of those guys where spars are hard, but you're learning off every one of them. You know what I mean? He doesn't take any liberties, but at the same time, it's like you've got to work, you've got to think all the time when you're in there. And I also had some really good sparring with successful amateur Jacob Crew, who's going to turn professional soon as well. So he's out in the same gym, same stable. And just amateur-wise, potential talents. If you sort of think maybe every 10 years or so, you see somebody and you go, yeah, they're special. He's one of those kids that our class is putting like, nah, this kid is special. You know, anything can happen, but he's got the potential to really go all the way.
Of course, no, that's a great teams to be around. And so, how much do you know about your upcoming opponent?
So I'm fighting Michael Mooney now. We have a change of opponent.
Okay.
To be honest with you, I've not watched tons and tons of him, but he's been around the scene for years. You know, I watched him fight Billy Morgan literally like a decade ago.
Okay.
Showing my age there, but yeah, about a decade ago. So he's one of those ones where, like, yeah, he can pull an upset. He can, but you know, it should be a learning fight, and I don't overstress about those things. I just try and focus on what I can do best. Yeah, you know, we'll see how it goes.
Definitely. And for anybody who might be wanting to come and watch this fight and didn't watch your debut, what would you say makes yourself interesting as a fighter?
Yeah, you know what? I'm a stylist, but at the same time, I can fight.
Okay.
What you get typically, you sort of have the stereotype that you have these fighters have to have these amazing amateur careers to be good pure boxers. And again, I just say there's a huge stylistic difference between amateur and professional.
Definitely.
And I could think of some of the best technicians who didn't have great amateur careers or didn't have that extensive amateur careers. You could go. Lee Haskins, I think, had maybe about a dozen amateur fights. You know, I learned a lot of him years ago. He was a great stylist. James Toney is like my favourite boxer, sort of like boxing idol. And again, he had a successful but a relatively short amateur career. So yes, I'd say really it's just I'm a good pure boxer. At the same time, if it comes down to it, I'm more than happy to dig in and see how I enjoy that as well. So yeah.
That sounds very entertaining. And so I mean, you are of course right at the beginning of your career, and so how far do you believe that you can go?
In terms of technical ability, you can never say for sure yet. I've mixed in the gym and sparring and these sort of things at top level. And I think if you're in this game, you have to have that belief in yourself.
Definitely.
So I believe technically, it's how long's a piece of string. When you're looking at the other factors involved in it, ticket sales, bit of luck, age, all of those things, I think that there's probably a realistic cap on sort of what I'm likely to achieve.
Yeah.
But at the same time too, you can't tell, you know. You can't tell. So I say let's find out. Let's find it out.
That's great. Okay, and so I'll leave you with this final question, which I always like to ask. You've got a little bit of a platform here. Would you like to shout anything out?
Should have prepared that. No, not particularly. You know, really, for me, this is just about boxing. It's about doing something I love. I've really put my heart and soul into this. For more than a decade now. I've been at this day in, day out, putting everything into it. Most boxers really they're doing it for love. And for anybody who's able to come along, who's able to check me out, all I say is just come and have a look. You know what I mean? It's everything I've got. I'm putting my all into it. So yeah, hopefully see you there and hopefully get some support.
Yes, definitely. Great. Well, thank you very much, mate. Maybe a little bit further along down the line we can come back and do another interview.
It sounds really good, mate. Sounds good. Thank you very much. Thank you for the platform.
Yes, definitely. And so if you are new around here and you haven't subscribed, please do so. Like the video if you're doing like the video, and thanks for watching.